So we met 4 years ago when you came here to KWB, right?
Yeah. And then my first thing there was going through Ignite. And I sat diagonal from Michael in a big classroom full of Ignite agents.
Yeah. So our new agent training, like you dove all in.
All in.
Yeah.
It was going to be full time for me from the very beginning.
So before we met, let's go back to, what did you do before real estate?
Yeah, so I was a local pastor for about 20 years. Wow. When we first moved here, my wife and I started off as a youth pastor at a really big church and did some cool things. One of those is Joy Prom. If you've ever seen like Tebow, what he does with that.
Yes.
Yeah, so we started that at the church I was at.
So cool.
It's one of those things that I always look back and grin on. And so I went through that route, and then the church sent me off to start a church in Waxhaw.
Okay.
Yep. And so I was there maybe for about 10 years.
Wow.
And walked through a lot of big hurdles, whether it was elections, Black Lives Matter was a huge thing going on right then as well, where people had different opinions. And then at the same time, we walked through COVID, whether you shut down the church or keep it open. So I got through all that, and I realized I was so burned out. So took a church from like 0 to about almost 2,000.
What?
It was crazy.
That's huge.
But going through all that, I realized I had burned myself out.
Yeah.
And so the church and I, we went different ways. Yeah. And I had to make a decision, okay, what am I going to do next? Like, what am I good at? And I'm like, I'm pretty good with connecting with people. Yes. I'm really good on systems. If I can talk, that's going to be a positive. Yeah. But my problem is I don't want to do something where I have 2,000 bosses anymore. Yes. You know, and so real estate really just struck a chord with me of something I can start and build. And I remember I said this to you, I think when we first met, I really still want to sit down at tables.
Oh, I remember.
For the good and the bad, that's where I do really well. And I want to be able to help people.
Yes. Which is amazing that you even knew that coming in. Like that was your heart coming in. And I do remember you saying that. And I actually still tell that story today.
Oh, thank you.
Because again, if somebody who was, again, a pastor somewhere, and like you said, caring for over 2,000 people, could come into a home and care for that particular seller and where they wanted to go, whether that was, again, selling or buying, I thought, man, this guy's going to kill it. He's going to do amazing. This is where you needed to be.
Well, thank you. I was very excited at the beginning. I mean, I felt like I came out of the chute. I felt like I had all my tools.
Yeah.
Took a while for people to recognize he's not a pastor anymore. He's
happens.
now an agent.
That happens.
And then as soon as they started recognizing, that was when the market took a turn.
Yes.
I always hate when people go, oh, it's a hard market, difficult market. I just say it took a shift that I wasn't ready for.
Yeah.
And so I had to begin to all of a sudden kind of change my approach on things for the next couple of years.
Okay. So I don't do good math. Before in 2026, you got licensed in, say, 2022?
I think it's about right.
Right around there?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you first started, the market was already kind of shifting.
It had just started to shift. So my first day here was in March.
Okay.
And I think it was like kind of around June or so. It felt like we started hearing
to see
it
that.
could start shifting some.
And what we're talking about specifically is, of course, when people call about the COVID real estate market.
Right.
It had gotten super fast. We were talking within hours, things going off, if they even made it to market.
Yeah. And when I came in, I was hoping I could catch the tail end of the unicorn years there, and I didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're thinking, so how do I go out, again, serve my people?
Right.
Right. And
Or how do I serve my people when they're not calling anymore?
Yeah.
You know, because they're scared of what's happening.
So what did you do?
I felt like I doubled down on everything, and sometimes I tripled down. And looking back, I don't know if that was the best for me in my life, physically, relationally.
Yeah. You felt like you were just grinding. I mean, that sounds to me like I'm hearing grind. Like
I felt like my family was living their life, and I was spending my life going, how can I find my next deal? Yeah, so it took a toll. But at the same time, I look back at that and I go, you know what? It really, how do I say it helped me become a better agent sooner than I thought. I had to endure a lot of things and learn a lot of things very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those first couple of years, sold a few houses.
Yeah.
You're feeling pretty good. But again, the grind is there.
Yeah.
So you're probably sacrificing a little bit more of your personal family, like you just mentioned. But the real estate part's going good.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what happens next.
Yeah. So just when I thought it started getting better, so this happened November 19th this past year. So here's the story, how it goes. I was with a buyer. They were about ready to put down money on a $3 million home. And I just got my spidey senses went off. And I go, something's off here. I said, so before you sign, let's have a personal meeting with the listing agent and the builder. We got in that room, and I realized the listing agent was lying to the builder, and the builder didn't know. And we were going to be caught in the middle where they would lose their due diligence.
Oh.
It's probably the first time I've ever been upset with an agent. And so we left that meeting, and I decided, I'm going to go home. I don't like being upset. So I got home, and then all of a sudden, I was walking into our living room, and I felt like, oh, my chest. I was like, I wonder if this is like what an anxiety attack feels like because I'm so upset.
I'm so upset.
And then I dropped my phone, and I'm like sitting there in my mind going, that's unusual. So I went and sat down, and I realized something's going on, and I'm not sure what. And my daughter was home from school. It was a half day. She came down. She's a senior at Providence. And she goes, Dad, I'm going to go work out. And I told her, I go, no, I need you to call my wife, your mom. Yeah. And when I said it, not a single word that you can understand came out of my mouth. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what is going on?
You knew.
Something had switched. I couldn't talk. And so she goes, Dad, you're so funny. I'm going to work out. And I had to go wave my arms and go, no. And so she went and got her mom. Didn't call her because she panicked. And I'm sitting there, and I couldn't move. And my dog, it's funny, my dog's head is right on my lap knowing something's wrong.
He knew. Oh, yeah.
So my wife got back, and all of a sudden I could talk again. And so like a typical guy, I'm like, hon, I'm good.
I'm fine.
It
That
passed.
was weird.
I don't know what it was. And my wife's like, no, we're going to go to the doctor. So I got in the car, and we're driving to the doctor. And then all of a sudden in the car, I could feel it was happening again. I didn't know what. All of a sudden I realized I'm probably going to die in the car. Not because of pain. I just knew I was going to die. And so very thankful God gave me a few minutes. I was able to turn and put my hand on my wife's leg and on her hand and tell her how much I loved her and what a gift she was to me. And then I got to tell her about the same thing to each of my kids. And then as I was losing my speech, sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit. I don't tell this a lot. The last thing I said was, tell Jay. That was my last words I said. And so for me, looking back at that, it really put what's the most important to me? My wife, my family, and the team that I'm on. So it really speaks to not only Keller Williams, but also speaks to the team that has me, and having those people come along right beside my family. So they got me to the emergency room. I remember parts of that. And so what happened was I was having a stroke. Wow. My heart went into AFib. It got so high in its beats, it shot a blood clot up into my brain, and it killed off 5 centimeters of my brain, knocked it out. Kind of like a little graveyard up there, 5 centimeters.
Wow.
And that was the spot that I could talk. So they got that out. Such a great organization. And then I remember being in the hospital room, and for 2 days, I was talking to my wife. Later on, I found out I wasn't talking. It was just in my brain.
Wow.
I couldn't still speak. And so it took about a week for words to start coming back, which was a big deal for me.
Oh, yeah.
What I used to be, and a speaker, a person who communicates, and, now I can't, Wow. And so they had said it'd take about 6 months to get back to work. And from November 19th, I was back to work on January 1st, and I was able to talk. I talked in slurs, so I had to make a joke of it. I would tell clients, if you hear me slur, I promise I've not been drinking yet. And they would laugh, but in my brain, I knew things had to change about my business from all that. And things had to change about me,
What kind of changes have you made?
So I think I had a big choice. Was I going to respond how do I say it? Like most typical guys do?
Yeah.
and I don't really change.
Yeah.
And so I had to make a change. How was I going to live? And probably the biggest, I had to make a decision. How was I going to face this? Was I going to put my flag up on this island I called, why did this happen to me? And I live there and I moan and complain the rest of my life? Or am I going to live a life where I look back and go, I'm thankful that I had a stroke because it changed so many things for me. And that's where I am now. So things that have changed, man, I look at the bad choices I made to get myself in that position with weight, health, fitness. All those things needed to change.
Yeah.
That was just one. Yeah.
Well, you look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
So,
I've lost a little bit of LBs along the way.
But it really just goes to show that, again, you've made a decision to make some healthier choices.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's all it is. It's choices.
Yeah, and so I think, too, it's just having that, what's my attitude going to be with this? And I wanted my kids to look and go, I wanted them to look at me and go, that's my dad 2.0. I wanted them to see that kind of change.
100%.
Yeah.
Proud of that guy.
Yeah, thank you. I am too.
How many children you got?
Three kids.
Three
Yeah,
kiddos.
2 are out of college. 1 is about to graduate high school. So
Amazing. So you're making good choices. You're
yes,
getting your mindset right. It's not been easy.
no, it's not.
And again, I think that's part of the journey where we were actually just speaking really briefly about so many times we get to a place, whether that's business, health, right? We get to a place and everybody celebrates the wins. People sometimes don't look at the journey and all the hard things you've had to do, right? There's a lot of things you've had to grit through.
Yeah, a lot of people will say, I can't even tell when you talk that you had a stroke. And inside, I know how much work I've spent just every day talking and doing tongue twister. I mean, all kinds of things.
Yes.
How many times I've used AI to do like coaching tools where I could talk to it because I didn't want to get back on the phone anymore. Yeah, like my first listing appointment back, I was so nervous about how am I going to come off? And what changed with me is I went from being probably too salesy down to just focus on relationships and then try to win this listing before you ever get there with what you send them. And so that was a big help for me.
Less talking at the table.
Less,
Really?
Or if it was going to be talking, it was going to be about them. Like I didn't want to be the guy that every time I saw somebody, I was pulling out, I had my stroke, here's my card.
Yeah.
Like I don't want sympathy like that, you know?
I know your heart and you're in the business to help people.
Yes,
So
definitely.
it was not about you ever. Yeah. So you mentioned a little bit about before the stroke that you were taking, again, kind of that grit approach.
Making a lot of phone calls.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
phone calls.
door
I remember
knocking.
you were door knocking. You were
Yeah.
doing these great videos, for almost for listings and a lot of great strategies. Now, what does that look like for you now? And we'll generalize it here in 2026. I can't believe it. We're already in May.
Yeah.
How is 2026 looking for you? And are you feeling that same kind of grit or like you just mentioned, are you really focused around those relationships?
So I'm really focused on relationships, but like I'm still having a hard time wrapping my mind around this, that coming off of a stroke, I've entered now into the best year of real estate for myself.
Wow.
Like this May, I'll close 6 houses this May.
What?
It's incredible. And so I had to look at it and go, okay, what has changed about me, right? And so a lot of that is relationships. When I got home, and I didn't have anything to do but heal, right, recovery, I saw my daughter put a Facebook post about me up, and I looked, and there was 500 comments. And I realized that's probably my sphere. That's my sphere.
Those are my people.
And so I began to individually text each person, telling them thank you, and then let the conversation happen. And then I would come back with, you are so much there for my family. How can I be there for yours? And allow things, if it needed to come back to real estate.
Yeah.
Instead of me going, hey, who do you know that wants to buy or sell?
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that anymore. And
Truly relational.
Truly relational. And then I realized, okay, I can't use the phone like I did before because I don't want to explain to everybody how my speech is still off as I was recovering. And so I turned a lot to texts, emails, and things like that to really kind of set the stage.
Yeah.
I did a lot. I call them CMAs, where I would send them basically their Zillow and go, hey, this is what Zillow says your house is sell for. I have an opinion on this. What do you think?
Yeah.
And watching things happen that way.
Which is genius because so many people have so much equity in their home right now. And I don't even think they know.
They don't know. Yeah.
don't.
And so it's fun just to put things out with better questions than I ever asked before to engage a person. And then knowing I'm engaging them through text where I was so phone calls before. Yeah.
That's really smart. Okay. So now moving forward, what does the rest of 2026 look like for you? Where are you focused? What does that look like moving forward?
So it's a little different. I'm trying to find those areas in my heart where I still have some fear. And so it's like, I'm so excited. I have six closings in May, but there's part of me that's going, where's the next one?
Always.
Like, where's the next one? And I don't want to live my life too much there. So like, I know I have 2 coming up in June, a couple, but I don't want to live there. So I'm trying to balance that. So what would you say about that?
Yeah.
Like, what's a good balancing?
It is. That's the word that always comes up, I feel like, right? And I think it's really just being focused around, so what are you doing for your family? Obviously, you're working.
Yeah.
And then what's Greg doing for Greg?
Yeah.
Right? And making sure that there's time and space for that. I love when people will tell me their stories. Let's just say somebody likes to golf or somebody is really involved in their church. Well, guess what? They end up meeting people that need to buy or sell, right?
Great point.
Just doing the things that bring them joy. Maybe it is, like I say, golf or working within your church. For you, it sounds like you found your people.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I very much did. And then, like one of the things my wife and I do, we're starting to work out together. And then we're not, like Peloton's a big piece of it too. But yeah, so I'm trying to keep asking, where do I want to change? Because the stroke gave me a great platform to implement that.
Yeah, you have a great story.
Oh, thank you.
A great story. And like I said before, I'm sure those children are thinking, Dad 2.0 is somebody that I'm super proud of.
I hope so. People go, when did you know you could talk again? I go, it was a time I got into an argument with my daughter about what car she was going to buy, and I was going head to head with her.
Yes.
And I realized, okay, I'm better.
I did really good.
I can keep up with a teenager now, and she understands me.
That's really
so
great.
it's funny.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you nothing but the best for the rest of 26, although 6 closings is going to be hard to top.
Yeah.
6 families, that's amazing, Greg.
Thank
it
you
really
very
is.
much.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything that we maybe left out today that you want people to hear or?
So I think one of the other things that I added that has been such it has really allowed me to become better agents is I've leaned really heavy into AI. And as I've done that, I realized there's kind of 2 people that accept it, and then you have another set that immediately will go, oh, you can't trust this, it's going to tell you bad information. I sit there and I think about that. I go, you know what? I can tell you bad information.
Sure.
As an agent, you can tell me bad information.
Sure.
Anybody in this office can.
Yep.
So I don't want to be the old guy sitting on my patio going, get off my yard.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to be a teacher when we grew up that said, you can't use a calculator. You'll never have one. I have a computer in my hand now every day.
We walk around with.
Yeah, so it's taking my systems and seeing how AI can help me be a better communicator. I'm not trusting it to do the work for me.
Right.
I'm trusting it to help me communicate better to each client.
Yeah.
And so leveraging AI for that, setting up projects for each client that I have, keeping it updated as an assistant has been so game changing for me because it's helped me now when I felt like I couldn't talk on the phone, now to how I email, how I text. And now that I can talk on the phone, it always gives me, before I talk to anybody, it gives me a set of talking points that we've worked together on what's important to this client. It knows all that for me.
You literally have made this almost assistant that
Very much
helps
so.
you through this transaction with people. Again, all because of a life event that you had and you had to adjust to.
Yeah. Like I just had a closing. The inspector found a temperature crack basically in the foundation,
Yeah.
very small. Yeah. Everybody freaked out about it. Right. So I had to update my sellers about this is how we're going to deal with a very emotional buyer.
Yeah.
And so AI helped me with talking points to get my people calmed down, telling them facts, and this is what I know, this is how we're going to deal with it, and then how to deal with the buyer on the buyer side. It was just incredible, the information. And I separated myself. I kept getting better and better as an agent.
Right.
And as I did, I could feed it better information. Yeah, so that's been really big for me.
All right, that's powerful.
Yeah.
What a change. One big lesson I would say out of that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And there's so many ways to use it.
There is. And like you said, I love how you said, I don't want to be the guy that doesn't use it.
Oh, yeah. I think I was telling you, I started some prompts. I call it my Shark Tank Council.
Yes.
And so I've created 5 agents that all think differently inside AI. Each one, like one is strategic, one thinks creatively, one research-wise. And when I have a really hard problem, and I think I have maybe like 2 or 3 solutions, I'll kick it to the Shark Tank. And then I'll watch those 5 agents argue with each other.
Genius.
And then they come up with what they feel is the best. And I get to sit back and go, does that make sense?
Does that make sense?
For my client.
Because sometimes, again, as a real estate agent, we're thinking these things in our head. What is the best thing? Oh, yeah. Have I thought of all the different scenarios? You happen to be on an amazing team. You might be able to bounce some of those ideas off. But to have your own Shark Tank, I mean, that is genius.
It's very cool. Especially now because, like, if you begin to talk about the market right now, I mean, I think if I put in the AI, what's the market like right now? I think it'd come up with a word we said, it's a bit funky.
It's a little funky.
It's a little funky.
Yep.
And like,
but then it's like, what does that mean?
Exactly. What does that mean for my buyers? What's it mean for my sellers?
Yes.
Yeah. And be able to help them through that. And then what does it mean for me? What needs to change with how I'm reaching people?
How I'm doing it. Yeah.
And so I'm trying to figure that one out a little bit too, going through summer.
What a tool.
Yeah.
Greg, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, and I know they are going to, whether that's to buy or sell, or maybe just congratulate you, because again, just a few months later, like I said, you look amazing. You sound amazing.
Thank you. Getting better.
Getting better every day. How should they reach out to you?
My phone number is 980-315-5131, or you can email me at greg@thejwhiteteam.com.
Perfect.
So
we'll make sure that gets on the screen.
Thank you.
So somebody can reach out and talk to you if they want to, because you're, again, one of my favorite humans.
Thank you. I think that if you can just look to find the good in things, it will greatly change your life.
We're very blessed.
Thank you, Theresa.